Listen. Yeah. Yes, dog. Get that out of there.
Alrighty. Hey everybody, it's your boy Matty-Rants. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, become part of this Rant Pack family. I appreciate you for tuning in on this good old Sunday afternoon, Sunday fun day for some of you. I'm trying to close things up here because I know my battery is draining right now on my phone, and putting my do not disturb. So we're not disturbed today as we talk about a new season of House of Villains that is on Peacock. They dropped 3 episodes this past week. It's the new Thursday show basically taking over for Traders, which ended this past week as well. So we have a lot to discuss. And trust, I just spent the last 3.5 hours putting this all together. So yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. Watch this show. Oh my goodness. It's very, okay, listen, it's kind of corny. It's a little bit on the scale of, okay, who are these people? Where are they from reality television, from different shows? You know, some of these people are still on television or possibly have, been on television, won their shows, didn't win their shows. Most notable for being villains on their seasons, if you will. And so for this program with House of Villains, basically they have to compete in a couple of challenges to become the supervillain, nominate 3 people to be on the chopping block, who then need to compete in another challenge in order to get at least one of them off the block, to where 2 of them will then have to go up for possible extermination and then be removed from the competition. At the end of the show, with the people who are left standing, they must plead their case against the people who they have eliminated and therefore be voted to become the head or all over supervillain and get $200,000. So it's something, if you will. And honestly, it's a fun ride so far. There have been a lot of shady moments, and it's also nice to see a few people that I haven't seen in a while, such as Drita from Mob Wives. I'm such a fan of Mob Wives. I really want that show to come back. So yeah, strap in. We're going to be talking about this today. Just, as a precaution, because I've already been called out for this, and I understand, but I just wanted to be clear. This program is for entertainment purposes only, and content is not intended to malign any religion, race, gender, company, individual, or wigs. And all opinions expressed by myself, they're just my sole personal views and do not reflect the opinions of every human on the planet. No hate should be sent to any of the shows or individuals mentioned on this program, so don't be rude. Grab your libation, strap in. I'm a bit of a talker. You may be here for a while. If that's not cool, I get it, but it's kind of me, and I want to apologize, but I don't, because that's just really where it's at. So God bless you all, though. Don't post any spoilers in the chat, and if you feel uncomfortable after viewing this program, consume some Activia and have yourself a good old nasty cash boot. And if you wanted to find me in any of my other social media spaces and or places, you can find that in the About section with the Linktree link. It'll take you where you need to go. I also do reactions on Patreon for as low as $2 a month. You can catch over now almost 800 videos. I'm covering this show, House of Villains. I'm covering RuPaul's Drag Race season 18, UK versus the world. I just covered Traders. And for March, we have some specials coming up because I will be doing a special watch of Paris is Burning. I'm also going to be coming into I'm also going to be doing Heated Rivalry. That has been requested the most by my audience on Patreon. So I'll be doing a special reaction to that. I'm hoping it's good. I was not into the hysteria and hype that was happening on social media, but I'm going to do it for my Patreon subscribers. Also, I'm going to be doing a special reaction tomorrow. I just saw the trailer for Z-Way's interview with Tiffany New York Pollard, who is on this show, House of Villains. Perfect timing. So tomorrow there's going to be a special reaction for that. Plus there is an anime pool that's going on right now that I'm going to do also special for Patreon. So again, if you want to join my Patreon, please and thank you. Bookable on Cameo, merch available at directqueenmerch.com, an affiliate partner with Paramount Plus, PO Box if you want to send anything. And also there's a Discord if you want to be a part of that rant pack community here. Shout out to Emroika all the way over there in France. Bonjour, my love. Hope you're having a wonderful day. They are my moderator here. Well, one of the head moderator actually. But if anybody sort of goes a little bit beyond the, place of, I guess, just being respectful, we're gonna have to remove you because this is a chat that is supposed to be honestly fun, as well as we're talking about a TV show. You got problems with me, I don't know, that's your shit, not mine. But please enjoy yourselves and know that there's a community. This is why the live chat is up, so that way you're a part of this conversation as well. Also, if you did want to drop some love in my jar, please and thank you. You do not have to, but if you want to, for your boy hosting with the most of them right now, it is paypal.me/Matty-Rants, Cash App $@MattMatt924, and Venmo Matty-Rants. There have been some requests for Resident Evil, I think it's called Requiem, this new one that just came out. I told y'all I'm like really trying to like save up for a trip and everything. If you want me to play it, we'll see. I said if y'all want to send it, cool. And I already know about the Pokemon 30th anniversary. I'm a big fan and jealous for everybody playing Leaf Green and Fire Red right now. I'd love to start a new game on the Switch to see how that plays. But and Poketopia coming out. But like honestly, gaming is popping right now, but I also know there's a lot going on in the world currently and things I definitely do not agree that are happening right now. But honestly, I just hope everyone is safe. I hope you're all doing well and feeling blessed and not stressed, and we're gonna get through this. So yes, thanks for tuning in. Let's have a good time today and have some fun, and we got 3 episodes to get into, so let's start the show, shall we? Ooh, okay. House of Villains. Now, these episodes, and I hate when they do this with any sort of reality TV, where it's always going to end on a cliffhanger. And they really could have made episode 1 and 2 just one episode, and then 3 and 4 would be its own thing. But it's sort of a way to bring you back in and shock, like what's going to happen next week sort of bit, right? Okay, cool. Linda, I didn't know that you're into Pokemon. Me too. Let's stay on topic because I got dragged for that earlier. But yes, I've been playing since the inception of the entire franchise. I've had the original copy of Blue. That was my first one, and my first starter was Bulbasaur. First starter was Bulbasaur. I was a grass guy back in the days, but yes, big Pokemon fan. Had the trading cards and all that before the craze now and all the apps and stuff. So I'm OG with it. But no, back to the show for House of Villains. It's basically this, again, like the premise I said, competing, $200,000, competitions, nominations, eliminations, all that kind of stuff, right? The way they started this show, I was like, did they do something this cornballish last season? I don't know, but they did this dance, and I thought to myself, why? What is this? I think it was a way to be like, don't take this too seriously. Maybe. I don't know. But the guests start entering the house with someone already being there. But Tom Sandoval is the first one to technically step into the door. And if you remember, Tom was from Vanderpump Rules. It was kind of bad for them. They're no longer on Vanderpump Rules. I don't watch anymore because, But I also know they were on Traitors, not this most recent season, but last season. And Tom sort of had a reality TV redemption, if you will, in terms of likability for their vacancy and thoughts, as well as their, always being paranoid of everybody and looking like they're about to just poop. But Tom is in the house because he's a villain for not being a faithful guy and being all over the tabloids, right? But as Tom steps in, it's clear that the show is beginning and he's claimed his bed. Next up is Christine from Selling Sunset, another show that I gave 1 season to. It was not my vibe. And I know people love this show, but I'm sorry. Something about that real estate agency where everybody looks damn near the same except for the casual brunette over here and the one black girl. I'm like, not for me. I tried, I really did, but it's no. Also, if someone is probably like, Matt, you got your do-rag on. What's happening here? We're not sure. You notice my beard is gone too, right? I was trying to trim it. I used the wrong clip guard. So after this video, we gonna get in the rest of here. The braids will stay intact, but I gotta edge up the rest. I'm so mad. Couldn't believe it. I cleaned the wrong clip guard and I didn't have my glasses on, so that was my bad. Back to the show though. Christine is in this cast. She's gorgeous in an LA sort of way, if you will. Like, mama is clearly pumping. But she will be definitely a conversation piece later. And I'm just like, y'all, if this is the season where we're going to do this literally all over again with like the bombshell girl and the one guy, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. But New York already being in the house, no intro, no walkthrough, coming out the bathroom, low key in the same exact room that she had the last time is kind of so funny to me. But also, some folks are like, why is she back? She already did this twice. I'm kind of here from whenever she's on my television screen, so I will be biased and say I'm fine with her being there and probably losing again. Unless they're just going to make sure she makes it to the finale and it's like, girl, get your win so you can never come back. Either way, Tiffany, this is a wild photo of you. Who do you blame? I don't know. But representing RuPaul's Drag Race, and one person who I very much am fond of, a good friend, Hey Jane, Plain Jane is up in this piece. And I'm kind of excited. Please don't let this bitch go home early. It's almost giving that, but Jane's commentary in her confessionals is quite the key, and I need them to honestly stay here because, yeah, I need to be entertained. But Plain Jane steps in, clear villain from her season. Y'all know Mama was going in that and the other. Yeah, definitely Dooley's favorite drag queen. Totally love Plain Jane. That's Dooley. Love Plain Jane. Love Jane. But no, Mama steps in and I'm kind of here for it. She was giving Erica Jane no shade. I was like, Plain, were you channeling Erica? It's given you were channeling Erica Jane when she went on that one trip for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and she wore that latex outfit. I was like, this is low-key the same, kind of close to the same outfit, you know? Now, someone who I'm not fully familiar with, but I did do a deep dive of Big Brother recently, and Paul is on that list of, for sure, villains and all that good stuff. Paul is going to be a key, but I'm also concerned with how he just played his most recent move lately, okay? I like Paul a lot. Paul's a little, hot topic kid, whatever, and all that good stuff. A little bit of a weirdo, a beardo. However, we'll get more into Paul later, but Paul was, pulled up in it with his pirate chest. I was like, are we going to college? Like, what's happening here? All right. No suitcase, just that. And I'm thinking, is that the only thing you brought? Gag. But when Paul sees New York, it's like, New York's like, I don't know this man. I mean, they know you, sister, so that's probably why. Well, all of them, kind of. Tyson from Survivor is in this piece. I know Tyson more from the challenge than I know him from Survivor, but also, again, recently, because I'm interested in the Survivor 50 season, I've done my deep dives of Survivor. Also, shout out to many channels that do season commentaries within 17 minutes. I could never. But like, there's this one channel, I can't think of his name right now, but I literally lost it one day and went down 5 hours of just Survivor 25 15 minutes, the worst season, the best season, the most iconic, this, that, and the other of Survivor. And Tyson was on a lot of them. I saw the one that he won and the ones that he lost to, but I know him from the challenge mostly. But yeah, I stopped watching it recently because it's just too, it's too predictable. But Tyson definitely should be here. However, here I go. This cast is interesting. You have somebody who is like Christine, not any sort of a game player whatsoever, just known for being a real estate agent, being married to a man at one point in time, being a bitch, being sort of shady and reading whatever. And they're like, I guess, a villain in their own right with their television program. Same thing goes to Tom Sandoval, who was just known for being, attached to the hip to a guy, but still being interested in women, but being afraid of being called gay. Like this guy over here, I'm totally cool, but not cool. But look at me in my eyes, like this individual who sort of had a redemption through going through a process of being on a show where, yes, you need to be a little bit more strategic. Tom has a little bit more in play than this, whereas Tyson is full on competitor mode. Jane can be put into both social and we have challenges to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, but this is not drag race where it's drag related, physical competition, as well as other stuff, memory, whatever. You're going to need to have some gameplay here. So I find this cast to be interesting because it's like, you can put people who are not used to this sort of gameplay all together and then challenge them to work. But then you're going up against people who are known for having this already in the pocket. And you're really up against like big dogs, stats based, if you will. Like mama, she's an S class. Like you may be C tier. Now, Tom already knows what's gooey because in reality, Tom needs another man by his side to feel competent just a little bit. I'm not a fan of Tom. I'm not falling for his foolishness. Just not my cup of tea, right? But he wants to room with Tyson. He knows Tyson's a threat. He's a competitor. He's on Survivor, all that stuff. And he wants to like bond and be with like a bro. And it's like, okay. Because what you'll notice about Tom through the first episode, like right before everybody's there, how many girls are coming? How many guys are going to be there? I got to make sure I'm rooming with a guy because, I am in a relationship. The PTSD he must be facing for Vanderpump, like for real. I can't room with a girl. I'm in a relationship right now. You have to understand. All right, Tomas. But he rooms with Tyson. And so it is what it is. But Tyson's shady as fuck. It was like, I guess you can be a celebrity from cheating on somebody. I was like, Tyson, calm down, please. Hit him again. That was funny. Jackie. Oh, Jackie. My conversation about you today. Here we go, baby girl. Jackie is someone who I love to hate, but also love more than hate at the same time. I am a Basketball Wives watcher in the background. I'm not a let's cover this show because I love it so much, because in reality, it's honestly a lot of shit to not really care about. And then you get to like the actual, okay, we're about to do something real juicy here. That's how Basketball Wives is to me. It's a tad bit boring. And then something goes down. I'm there for the drama. I'm not there for like what is your life? I don't give a fuck. Like, what are y'all arguing about today? What's the problem, bitch? Like, what's happening? So Jackie to me is one of the most delusional people on the planet, but also she can back it up a tad bit. Yet at the same time, she's always talking. Like, I know she can hit some, like she could bang if she wants to, but she also been knotted up before as well. Jackie talk a lot of big shit. And she always talk about her man, Doug. They get their vows renewed every year. I think my least favorite Jackie is when she brought her daughter on the show. I was not a fan of that season. I was also not a fan of that one little girl who was playing Muslim for 5 seconds and now she's no longer. Because she was trying to get away from her past, and then she ended up over there. She was trying to be, I forget her name, it's Brittany Renner, something like that. Always on a podcast yelling at somebody. Anywho, Jackie Christie is there. Old Jackie. And she came in believing she's the Grand Diva. I thought to myself, this isn't a show where it's a whole group of women and you're all in the same setting and you can put down your power move of my man been in the industry game, the girls know me, whoop, whoop. This is a whole nother vibe. And she's going to learn quickly. But New York knows her. It is what it is. Jackie is known to tussle a little bit with her words and say some shit that is foul. So I was hoping we'd get a little bit of that today, but we shall see. Now, Jane is also, you got to gear them up. Get your room, find your bed. We don't know what's going down. Up next, somebody from the challenge. Again, someone that Tyson, was Tyson on a season with Ashley? I don't remember. He's been on a few challenges, but they've been mostly like when CBS was doing their crossover bit when they were trying to like incorporate, because MTV, CBS, it's all together. But Ashley's from the challenge, and I know Ashley best for making one of the most ultimate moves on the planet. She low-key did a Johnny Bananas, but in a better way. She didn't like sort of just mess over somebody at the end because they didn't like each other. Nah, this dude over here, okay. As much as I understand that he would be pissed off, and I would be furious too, the entire season dragged her. I'm talking about under the belt, below the gutter, yanking her by the last strands of hair, reading this bitch, like eating Ashley up the entire season. They argue the whole fucking season. And when they finally get to the finale here and they have to run this final, okay? And imagine you have to run with this partner you do not like, but you need to make it to the end so you can get this money. You are the winning group. But caveat, stop. What's going on? Because the individuals were also being graded, and Ashley had the better time than him. So she's now given a decision. Do you split this money? And I believe it was $1 million at the time, if I'm correct. I may be wrong. Y'all may be helping me out with that, because I know she also, did she win more than one? I'm not sure, but it was a lot of money. It's like, do you share this money with this man, or do you run away with it? And she... Ashley, it was great, because I know you were tired. It was a whole day of this, days of doing this. This man came for me. This man talked about my family. This man talked about who my character is and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry. I'm taking the money. Boom. Oh, it was good TV. It was great TV. He was heated, broke that man after all that shit he said. It was regret. All you had to do was grit your teeth. Anywho, Ashley's in the competition. Mind you, it's a gag because she just filmed something 4 weeks ago. As she was walking in, they were like, when's the last time you did something? She's like, oh, I just came back a month ago. I'm like, what? Damn. All right. Now, Love Island is hot on the tails of a win right now. As you know, Rob won the Trader. So it would be kind of a gag if Johnny ended up also pulling a W on another reality show, say something like House of Villains. I'm putting that on the table just to say, ooh, the Love Island gals may be like chewing. Jana, it's your time. I need you to be on another show. Okay, not someone who was one of my favorites. Honestly, annoyed already based off of him acting the way he's been acting on the show and his incessant need of needing a showmance or somebody to be on top of. It is Johnny from Love Island. He's a villain just for being a player and for basically making women feel good and then not feel good afterwards, if you will. But welcome our light-skinned enemy, I guess. It was like, all right, here we go. But Jane was like, oh, and I said, wait, sister, you're gonna start to realize who these people are. Some of them are attractive, but they're not for us. But yes, it's very, I know you, you know me, I know you. Immediately, I was like, oh, here we go. Johnny sees Christine, yes. Apparently there was an interaction that never went more than exchanging of numbers, try to reach out on Instagram. He's like, oh, I have another chance at this. Wow. We're going to get back to that very soon. Do not worry, because this low-key was almost the same playbook from another season that somebody else did. And I thought, oh God, here we go. But Kate Chastain, someone who I enjoy, honestly. Below Deck, thank you, Kate. You made that show extremely bearable. I don't care what was going on. I was on your side for the majority of it. Also from Traders as well. I said, okay, we got a couple people who have dibble-dabbed in a few reality television shows here, but Kate is also on this cast, and she's known for being a bitch. She's owning that. But her first mistake, low-key, actually best move here, if you will. I don't know if you want to say that, but she comes in the room and says, hi, who are you, to New York. And as much as we all can be those people to say we never watched New York on, whatever. I'm sorry, just in the zeitgeist of reality television, in terms of like where we're gonna be, if there was ever a museum of art that has to do with this lady would literally be in the motherfucking museum. Do you understand me? Like you can type in just random words and she will pop up. Cigarette on Twitter in the GIF. Boom. She's sitting there on the bed like this. We're not doing that. Also, Kate, let me also be honest, because you could have just been doing this to be funny, which I also think is hilarious, but you didn't do no research before you came here. Hi, my agent just told me I'm casted for a reality television show called House of Villains. I'm going to pack my bag, get as many dresses as possible that are not going to flatter my ass, and I'm going to push on through and just hope for the best. You're lying, girl. You know you watched a few episodes, and you know that lady was in those episodes. Gag. So I was a little bit here for New York being like, you can put your hand up, if you will. Well, damn, I've insulted New York. I mean, technically, be real. But Kate needs to find a bed, and she finds one because, again, you don't want to room with New York. If you remember the previous seasons, and most everybody does, she wants to be in a room by herself. But Kate ends up taking the bed that Jackie had. Jackie loses it because she's like, no, that was my bed. And there's no other room really for me. So I can't be in that one room because there's this devil figure up there. And they already took that down for me because there's this Kate being nice is like, okay, bet. Well, you know what, New York? I'm going to take the bed with you. Then after they just had their whole little moment, which I thought was so funny because New York was like, oh, really? So that's what we're about to do? And she almost was like, okay, girl, she checked me a tad bit because Kate did something that was very below deckish, very, I forget the name of the steward. It's not just a stewardess. I forget the name of it specifically. Head bosun. I'm not sure. Oh, Lord. Come on, Matt. You should be better than this. But she's used to being the hospitality field. And it's the way she goes, well, I figured you picked the best bedroom. Complimented her taste real quick. I was like, come on, Kate, that was slick. And she ends up getting the bed that in New York's room. And low-key, spoiler alert, they end up being kind of besties. And I lived. I lived. I lived. I lived. I lived. I lived. Personally, like, honest to God, it was like, this is so much fun. Period. Right. So then you've got Ashley, who's like, well, I guess I'm going to be with the boys, which in reality, she's going to play this game the entire time. Like, she's almost going to do what she does in the controllers. But I was going to side with the girls, but I need the gamers. Yes, you do. You do. But the last one who stepped into this arena, I couldn't believe it. One of my favorite people in the entire universe is on this show, from a show that I wish was still on right now, Mob Wives. Drita, of all people. I was like, oh my God, she's not a villain. I was like, I think Karen would be in that category. I don't know. I was like, Drita's not a villain. What? Why is Drita a villain? I was rooting for Drita. Drita was my bitch. I loved her. I'm Jane in this moment. I'm standing like, what are you doing here? Get what? What? Mind you, Drita was on a show with Safari in New York back in the day on VH1. And it was like Scared Famous or something like that. I forget the name of the show. But Alaska Thunderfuck 5000 was also on that show too. So it's sort of this cool merge of these communities that we still have under that umbrella that I do like when they have these reality television shows. But yeah, hold on. Before I continue further here, because yeah, I did see the attempt at whatever the hell that was, and y'all already know how we're going to handle those things from now on. So I appreciate y'all for not even paying that. But when I tell you, Thank you so much for tuning in. We are talking about House of Villains, season 3, episodes 1 through 3. Right now, we're on episode 1 currently, and we're going to get through all 3 episodes, whether it's a long winded conversation of 2 hours, 4 hours I get to the point, off the point, whatever point is possible. We're going to do it and we're going to have fun regardless of how anybody feels jumping into the stream, whether it's subscribed or not subscribed. We're here to have a good time today. There's a lot going on in the world, and the last thing we need is to argue with each other about something that really doesn't fucking matter. So thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. Hi, Bubby. Become a part of the Rant Pack community, and make sure you leave a comment at the end of this video talking about this episode right now. Episodes, because we're covering 3 in the comment section. And if you wanted to throw any love in my jar, please and thank you. It is paypal.me/Matty-Rants, catch up $Matt924, and Venmo Matty-Rants. But again, thanks again for being here. Drita is back. Hell yeah. Let's go. I'm like, okay, we have a TV show. However, Drita realizes there is no bed for her. Seeing New York, it's awesome. Like somebody I've worked with before. We have a camaraderie. But also, hold on, where my bed at? They playing with Drita, and they did this on purpose because they wanted this reaction from her, knowing she'd probably give the best one. If not her, it'd be New York. That'd be the last one to step into the house to do the same thing, if you will. So I was like, okay, work. Like come on now. But Drita already wrapping up her hair. I said, sister. I said, Drita. She said, okay, what's going on with my bed? What's happening? Who I gotta talk to? Tom? Is that your bed right there? So what's that? Well, we got our beds and we got all this together. So it's giving, someone is going to be eliminated before we have a room, or so we think. But yeah, Kate and New York are already kumbayaing, but I don't know if I believe New York, and I don't know why it's any of my business, but this scene was funny because Kate's just trying to like have casual conversation, and New York is like, I guess she's like, are you talking to someone? She's like, yeah, I have a fiance. She never turns to address her or like speak. Like actually, she's just like in her suitcase. Like, I don't know. Okay, actually, it's a makeup bag now that I'm looking at it, but I was like, are you gonna look at her? Are you gonna turn and actually speak? I don't know if I believed all of this. I said, baby, she may have just been talking to her. Talk about, yeah, I'm mostly in New York. It was such a light. I'm trying. Kate was trying so hard. But they got an announcement from Joel. I'm a little sad that Monica is not the voice from the announcer anymore, and they have Joel just doing it. It's still fun, but it's like, we could have had somebody there. Hi, Arno. How you doing, baby? Happy first day of March. That part, we're no longer in February. Thank God. We're on to a new month. But there's a big old present sitting outside for them, and bam, it's a lever with a timer. They have 10 minutes to pull that bitch and figure out what the hell is going on here, where Tyson makes the big decision because they've been on enough reality shows to know that's probably going to be a really good thing, more than likely, versus a very bad thing. But it is a little scary. They then have to cross across the mansion and then go to the front of the house to then meet Joel McHale, who is their host, with Johnny Bananas, who I'm not a fan of after that bullshit he pulled on Twitter against my queen, Taylor Hale. But Johnny shows up. He was on the preview. First season. And Joel McHale introduces himself and lets them know what they're getting into. Before I go any further, I do have a little bit of love in my jar. Thank you, Asia. I appreciate you for the love today. Thank you for the tippy poo. For the same woman who set up, Carla isn't a traitor. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it, baby. But yeah, like, again, introductions. Joel is so funny. The Hot Topic read against Paul was hilarious because he's like, that's where I got it from. Joel's like, I know, like, look at you. Period. But he lets them know the rules in terms of the supervillain being very important. They get to nominate people to be on a hit list. Those on that hit list are going to have to do a mini challenge or Yeah, mini challenge. No, we just consider that an actual challenge where one of them will be taken off the hit list, and then the people who are on said hit list will then be voted out of the house between the two of them. And so it is important to win, but it also can put a target on your back if you're doing very well because you then show who you want out, and that's not fun. Dun dun dun. But Tyson is told that pulling the lever immediately ejects him from the game, and it is a little bit of a gag, but nah, that's not what's happening. Tyson is actually the supervillain of the week for taking that risk, and he will be able to nominate anybody that he wants. Now, what's really funny is that we haven't had a challenge yet, and he's already the supervillain. So I was like, oh, so is everybody on the board immediately just from like introductions, or what's going on? Pause. We'll get there. Tom is hyped because, oh my God, I picked Tyson. I knew it in my mind. I Tom Sandoval, am a genius because I picked the big dog already. Oh, I have a little bit of power. That is literally what Tom is thinking. Jesus Christ. But he's also fucked up because he's like, no, I'm going to lose my roommate and my buddy because they get to have their own suite. That's the extra bed that Drita was looking for. They can have their own private room, which is actually super dope. I was like, baby, I want that. Please let me be in this room. I don't want to be roommates with nobody. Even though low-key, I kind of do, just because you want to be able to talk gameplay with people throughout the day when you are mic'd up. So that way you have things going on and you're not like left out of the conversation and coming into some bullshit and being blindsided, right? But I was like, even though it's this ugly green room, I was like, this is lovely. Let me have it. Let me have it. So Tom is spiraling. Christine doesn't want it because the closet's not big enough. And Tom is trying to tell Tyson, you can't be in this room. How are we going to work together? It just kind of sucks because, that means that Drita's moving in with me. I have a girlfriend. Tyson, you got to think about me, man, because this is a lot to do. You know what you should do? How about you talk to Plain? Because, Plain, women, he was like, girls have suitcases, and then Plain does drag. Their drag is like... Plain can hear their name being said in the whispers of Tom, who is not quiet at all. And Plain comes into the room to eavesdrop, where Tyson then pitches to Plain, why don't you take the room, because it's going to take you longer to get dressed and you have to get engaged and prepare it. Mind you see how Tyson like worded that better than Tom did when he was pitching it to Tyson. Tom pitching that to Tyson was like, they're drag and with the drag, it's going to take them a while. Tyson worded it the way I needed Tom to do that. And it is a good proposition to Jane. I'm like, bitch, I'm taking the fucking room too. You know what I would do though? I'd switch. Like 2 days into it, and I do a whole like, I know you've given me this room and that's great and everything and hop to hop, but like, wouldn't it be nice if somebody had like a little space if they were like feeling a certain kind of way, and there's like an exchange that we do throughout like whatever. I would be pitching that room, sister, to give me at least 2 free weeks. I'd use that as my own bargaining chip later down the line, or at least like somewhat beginning middle way of the show, to where it isn't going to really matter anymore. Like, but if you wanted to do that, it's a way also to like set someone up to isolate them. So then I can start talking to the other people about getting them out. That too. Because Jane also saw that with, yes, this is great, I have my own room gag. However, like, is this a way to like put me up to look like I'm getting special treatment, or I'm better than the other person, or like Tyson is working with me? Tom is super stoked. He gets to have his man buddy friend, not boyfriend, get to be in the room with him. And he's like, I'm like telling Tyson what to do, and he's listening to me. So like, I'm kind of running the show here. And Tyson thinks that this is a giggle. Even I'm over here hollering because Tyson's like, I'm gonna let him think that's his idea. But what's gonna happen is that if that ends up looking bad, I'm gonna tell him that Tom is the one that pitched that idea in the first place. He's gonna use this against Tom later if Tom ever ends up being a fool or needing to be someone that needs to be thrown to the wolves. So Jane gets her room. I'm down with that. We move on for the episode. Now, Drita finally gets to have a bed, and they get to have this switch happen. So Jane's gone. She gets to have the other room, and now everyone's cool. But again, it does seem a little bit suspicious, and they're starting to notice that Tom is really close to Tyson. It's so obvious. Johnny is playing Love Island down because, hey, let's keep this in the room here as already an alliance. I was like, oh my God, for real? Like, okay, so now that we've all chosen the same room, let's have our alliance be in here with Paul and Ashley. Ashley wants to stick with the boys because she already sees the gamers in them, and the girls are giving reality TV like women versus like actual competitors, where Paul already knows this is very much Big Brother, but not Big Brother. So he can just do what he wants to do and act crazy. New York wants to make sure that Tyson isn't going to put her on the block. Get ready. He's not, but it's her already knowing how the last 2 seasons went down. You need to start talking to people, letting them know how you're going to feel. Tom loves that he's dressed like Christian Bateman. He's like, I don't know how I feel about this. I was like, you're not Leonardo DiCaprio in that one movie. You're the guy that literally is who like off people in his house, like to fucking wham. Like, what are you talking about? I guess you feel comfortable in that too. I can see you possibly being that character. But their first maxi, oh my God, this is not Drag Race. Their first challenge for this show has them going into corporate hell. I did appreciate the office bumper before this started up, but they're dressed, I guess, to go to work, but they have to be split up into 2 teams. They decide basically wherever they're standing are going to be teams. So you have Drita, Tom, Ashley, Plain Jane, and Johnny being on one team, with the other team consisting of Paul, Kate, Christine. I always want to call her Kristen. Christine, Jackie, and New York. Now, because Tyson is a supervillain this week, he does not have to participate because he is already putting people on the hit list, and he will not have a vote in whatever's coming up. But this challenge is important to everybody else because based on who loses, they will be then up for being put on said hit list. But it's called the 7 Deadly Sins, even though 5 sins are only used here, since sloth is Tyson technically, and they can't do lust because that's a joke, I guess, whatever. But with the 5 people on the team, every sin has a challenge. There we go. I was like, that brain, wake back up. Every sin has a challenge that they must face. The people who are then assigned to said challenges must complete them and then pass these badges until they get to the end of each of the sins, to where they're going to put together a puzzle, take a picture, and then be done with it. If they do this, they'll be safe from being on said hit list, and those who did not win will be then on the hit list. So you have a money grab for greed, you have cake for gluttony, you've got wrath, where they have to break open, I guess, old Dell computers, look for Joel's picture, rip that up and go on with it. Then you have to do a crying challenge where they're going to mark your face and you need to cry, and if it drops past the line, you get to move forward and then put together a puzzle that's really a mirror and take a picture. How did the challenge go? Well, plain doing a physical challenge in full drag is sending me. I thought that was a gag because I was like, baby, I'm not going to be a geesh for this. I could be a geesh for this. But no, the challenge starts with Tom going up against New York for greed. Tom was able to find money very easily and was able to get Plain on to the gluttony challenge, which she was tackling this cake in full geesh. I was hollering a little bit at this. Also, New York was not doing the best when it came to finding the money. She found it, but then couldn't find it. Joel staring at Plain Jane eating is wild to me. But then I remember he was a guest on Drag Race. This all makes sense. But Paul getting to that cake, Paul demolished it. Ate that alive. I would have been losing my grip. But you know what? Actually, I could have done this challenge. I just need some milk. Milk and cake is great together. So if I had some milk, I think I'd be good here. I think I'd be all right. But Jane ends up beating him just barely. I mean, Paul was tearing that mother up. Like, already had one bite left by the time Jane was finished. And Jane was booking it. I'm sorry, her in this wig with those heels running through was having me holler. To move on to the next task, where Johnny just throws down 2 computers, finds the picture immediately, and moves Drita on to the crying challenge, where Jackie gets in there and it's like, She just was throwing stuff. She wasn't looking for the picture. She was just throwing things. I don't think she really understood what she was supposed to do. Drita cries over a dog that she lost, and that helped. She was able to cry over her lost animal. I was like, oh, but also, this is so unserious. Like I love them now, but this is so unserious. The challenge is for you to find a way to cry. Mind you, Jane just ate a whole cake. Okay, Johnny threw some computers down and shit, and then they got Drita in a room trying to cry. And I thought to myself, what if Kristen also got her badge in the same time frame to then be in the room with her, and they have to cry in front of each other, or are they going into separate rooms? I thought that was wild because Drita finishes like way early, mind you. But I thought, wait, what if they're in the same room? And it's like we have to. I would have been laughing. Like, I'm sorry. Let's get to Kristen because Jackie wasn't doing shit. On a real note, Kristen got in that room. Yo, that lady put her jacket over her head. Ashley does puzzles on the challenge for a living. Whether she's good or bad at it, she literally has to do it so often for her fucking reality television career. She's going to be fine. Like, I wasn't even worried about that. But this lady in the room going, y'all, I have so much going on in my life right now. A divorce, money, woes, this, that, and the other. You don't understand. Like, I have a lot going on. So I'm going to get these tears out, not a one. Like, watery eyes and all this, that, and the other. But it's her having to get up. Anything. The producer, well, you're getting watery. And she's like, it's the setting spray. I'm like, I think it's a little more than the setting spray. I think it's also a little pump that happened in there too. It's giving me you had a fresh stabbing right there not too long ago. I think that may also have something to do. Oh, Ashley finishes the puzzle. Kate doesn't even get a chance to do it. They win, and up for possible hit list nomination is Jackie Christie, Kate, Paul, New York, and Christine. Dun, dun, dun. Tyson, because they are the supervillain, gets to take two people with him on his reward. And it can be so random what the reward is. Jane is dressed for the hip hop challenge for Drag Race. Paul is normally dressed like he looks like a laundry smell. And I don't mean the one of Febreze or Gain proportions. I mean, the laundry's been sitting out and it's definitely rank and stank. But they got to go on a skating rink, which is fun. Tyson needed assistance. Okay. And Jane was padded, so if she fell, it wouldn't matter. But Tyson talks strategy with them. And at the same time, Jackie Christie is low-key spiraling, I guess, as well as Christine, because it's like, oh my God, a guy won, we're in trouble. Yes, you are. You are. But here we go. Tyson, okay. Ooh, this was kind of a gag. I said, oh, we're doing some shit early. Jane is there just for shits and giggles. Tyson just likes playing Jane, but you know, again, it's a competition. I think that's why. But also, I think Jane is like the median for the women in the house for him with inviting Jane versus bringing on somebody who may be a little bit more biased in their feelings and way of things going on. And there's also some gameplay because Jane has been on a reality television show. Paul's there. Also somebody who is in somewhat of an alliance with Tyson already, but another strategic player and a big threat for Tyson in the same. Tyson's like, Paul, I'm going to put you up as a throwaway vote, as not even a real vote. You're just going to be a pawn. What? I said, not Tyson doing what Trump did to the troops recently out here in the United States. Ooh. I said they got crab legs, bitch, before they were deployed. Anywho, horrible. Sending love to all of them out there. Tyson's like, we got to do this because we can't nominate all the women on the show. It's not going to look good. Okay, so why me? Because you're over there. There's only 5 of you I can pick. I can't pick anybody else. I can't just put 3 women out of the 5 people that are up there. And Paul's like, this is some bullshit. Like, let's be clear. You are threatened by me. You know I'm pretty good at what I can do. At the same time, like, what's happening here? But Tyson says he needs Paul to do this to prove his loyalty as well. And he will also have his back in case he needs to be in a situation where, this happens, say, again or whatnot. Kate and New York are still bonding, and it's super, super cute. They even have this little like moment of Lucy and Ethel situation happen later, but I thought that was adorable. As Tyson comes back and he tells Tom the plan of putting up Paul as a decoy, because again, Tom is part of the upper alliance here, and he's so happy. Jane goes up there and vaguely explains that, yeah, Paul's going to be used, but he's probably thinking of putting 2 women up, but I don't know who it's going to be, even though she low-key knows. Because again, Jane is trying to play both sides of this and being fair. And also, like, I'm trying to run with the main portion of the house. She's going to see how that's going to work a little bit later. Ashley rolls with the boys, knows the plan. Paul's not feeling it. He's going to figure out a way to get his lick back. Christine is concerned. Again, what do you tell her? Like, I can't just be like, you're going to be posted up there. But in reality, Tom, who doesn't like Paul because Paul is an alternative individual, let's be very clear. And he's not clean cut like Tom. I've already clocked that from the way Tom acts about certain things that are happening. He's a very, I don't want to be canceled guy, but I also feel a way about certain things. I just don't want to, it's hard to say kind of individual. But for Tyson, this is about gameplay and knowing that Paul's a threat because Tom's not smart enough for this. And if Paul, say, doesn't win this challenge that's coming up for being on the hit list, he gets someone out who's going to be a big threat later, which is smart. Paul knows this, and he's not dumb. So he knows, I got to pull it together. New York confusing plain Jane and Geesh in drag right now for Jennifer Lopez when she is clearly Kris Jenner. And Jane accepting it and then turning to the camera. Well, I'm actually Kris Jenner. I don't know why that tickled me so much, but it's the fact that Jane didn't even correct her. She just went like, yeah, and then turned and was like, but actually. It was so stupid. I loved it so much. But now it's time for the actual first nominations possible. I need to remind y'all, like, this is just episode 1. And episode 2 is going to be a little bit more of a speed run before we get to episode 3, because it's kind of all like blends together. That's why they did the 3-episode premiere. But Joel McHale introduces himself, explains the rules once again. Tyson sits down and he makes his nominations. The first nomination is Paul. Duh, we knew this was coming. Paul says something funny. We move on. Christine is then chosen. I hate when people are very much overhyped, because in the pools that they were running in, she could be the shark with the sharpest tongue. In this scenario and situation, this was tragic. This was a fool trying to be very much that girl, and it was trash. Mama was trying to read so bad, couldn't get her words together, was stuttering down. It was awful. I was like, girl, like, wrap that up. Like, and another thing, boo, Wendy Sisterberger, boo, boo, boo. Now, at the end, that's the end of the episode, because we don't know who the third person is. So we go into episode 2. Now we're in episode 2. And we find out the final nomination is Jackie Christie, who was already feeling like she was going to be it, but it is what it is. Jackie talks a whole lot of shit. Do you know who I am? I'm Jackie Marie Christie. That don't mean shit here. That meant maybe a little bit of something, and they stopped taking you so seriously on Basketball Wives. But here, that don't mean nothing. You don't know the mistake you made. You can't call Doug to make nothing happen here, Miss Jackie. But Paul, Jackie, and Christine are on the hit list, and now what they need to do is prepare for the next day's challenge so they can get off that hit list. But, of course, Tyson's like, well, it is what it is. But Jackie's like, you made a big mistake. Look at this lady's eyeshadow. I cannot take her serious. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in. Yuck. Oh my goodness. I would just now notice it too. What? It's like, yeah. Woo wee. Does she have her eyebrows? No, they're there. Those aren't whoopies. Those aren't Goldbergs now. Those aren't the whoops. Okay. She got her eyebrows now. But she definitely giving me, Mom, can I see your makeup real quick, girl? Please. I'm not even gonna get into New York's beat. Wild, but yeah, she just starts talking a whole bunch of shit. Jackie's like, "What you gonna do? You don't know the mistakes you made. You made a big out of me out of me." It's like, what's happening here? And see, I was nice to you. What does that mean? What does that mean, Jacqueline? What does that mean? What does it mean? Like, what's happening? Jackie storms off, and then she's like, Christine, you better not beg for nothing. You don't be begging nothing. You're already on the list. You're already on the hit list. Jackie does not understand how this game works. So she goes to the room in a huff and she isolates herself. Johnny and Christine now have a private conversation, and Johnny is really trying to pursue something with her in this house. And he is definitely not happy that they did not get to hook up. He literally says that they met at a bar, exchanged numbers. He tried, I guess he tried to text or whatever, but didn't have the name or saved in the phone, or she didn't have his name saved in the phone. So he tried to hit her up on the Instagram DMs, but because she is who she is and she has a lot of people in her Instagram DMs, she never checked. So now he's trying to make this happen on this reality show. She has a boyfriend. She's in a relationship. We'll come back. There is an alliance with the orange room and the red room, which is AKA all of the men except for Jane and Ashley. Paul is again fodder, but Paul's like, I'm going to start some shit up because you don't know who you're messing around with. While Kate explains to Drita who Tom Sandoval is and why he acts the way he does, which was honestly so funny. Because Drita was like, I noticed how Tom is with Tyson. It's kind of weird, right? He's following the guy around like a puppy. And then Kate's like, oh, okay, let me explain to you who Tom is. This was hilarious. Again, as someone who watched a little bit of Vanderpump Rules and understood, again, the lore of who Tom and his weird energy with his other friend. Yeah, it was kind of funny. God. I wish the show wasn't sort of elimination based and was point based, but also it is funny seeing them leave. I'm not a fan of the Tom and Tyson thing. This bit was weird. They do this in the show a lot of times. They do these little bits for television and little cornball moments. I'm actually kind of into it. I'm okay, but oh yeah, that's the thing. America, again, when you go on a show like this, you don't know who's going to be there, right? But you can at least watch the previous seasons while you're on your flight there, while maybe you have a day or two to prepare. I know people are busy with their jobs and stuff, especially with the entertainment industry, but you need to see an episode. So then you realize, oh, someone is going to be here from this franchise. Someone's going to be here from this. My brain, and maybe that's just me, that's the Virgo rising in me, my Libra nature, but the Virgo rising is telling me I need to do some background stuff, because if Survivor was there and this person was there, that means that somebody else could be there. Let me do a deep dive of the show real quick and spend about a couple of minutes on it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I would at least have an idea of people, unless it's some rando, like Travis Kelce's mom walks in the door. I wouldn't know who that woman is. I know now from Traders, but if I was on Traders and that lady walked in, I'm like, now was she on a baking show? Immediately. Did she do something with knitting? Is this a public broadcasting woman? What's happening here? It looks like she holds puppets. I don't know. Do you already see this happening? Because I see this happening. he wants to be with Christine, but Christine is giving, I got a man, but I'm gonna like hold you over because I do this with like boys who like do this with me often, whatever. I feel like it's gonna be Ashley and Johnny. Because Johnny and Ashley, if you know, I mean, this Ashley, I'm not gonna do like that girl, but I'm already seeing a little bit of like, I'm gonna find my way into this situation. We're gonna see how that happens. I'm Jane. I'm gonna be up in the morning watching Drita cook food. Just to be like, I want to talk to you. But New York again is smart. She got sent home early in, the first season. She lasted a lot longer the second one, but she's already maneuvering her way with Tyson like, hey, I know you like didn't nominate me and I appreciate that, but I really want to work with you in the future. We also have like, Jane and Paul bonding over being not the hyper masculine sort of heteronormative, possible homophobic and sort of queer phobic or anything alternative phobic sort of individuals that they feel are coming off of the energy from Tyson, Tom, and Johnny. So there's a bonding moment between a little bit of the weirdos here. And I thought that was cute. Hold on to that. We'll get there in a moment again. Jackie Christie does the worst thing you could do in a competition like this, and that is isolate yourselves from everybody. And then what she tries to further do is isolate herself with Christine, because again, they're told that they can get up at a certain time for filming specific things, but they got to be mic'd up immediately. So whether they're in the bed and they want to get up or not, you got to be mic'd. That's this moment. You notice how Jane and them are outside and other people are doing things? Yeah, because you technically could be doing anything in the household and being filmed. But Jackie, who was still pissed off from the previous day, is now in this bed, isolating herself from the rest of the group. And she's keeping Christine there, who I think needs to get the fuck up and start talking to folks, because you need to be socializing and you need to be building a bond so people don't want to send you home. Your last impression was of you saying, and doing all that. And now you don't want to talk to nobody. Like, no one's going to like give you that pit pat party, especially on a show where it's House of Villains and you can be an ass and then send you home because you're being a bitch. But yeah, that was this whole moment for me with Jackie and Christine. I was like, Miss Jackie, get the fuck up. Get out that bed. Start acting like you're a nice person. You should have been cooking in the kitchen with Drita and acting like whatever happened the other day, that was some bullshit. That shouldn't have been the case. Christine could have been looked at as someone who was not trusting, and then they could have got her out easy, and Johnny's little woes and no's would have been like left there, mind you. But she's not thinking. She's taking everything personal. But as they sit there waiting for a drink and Joel gets on the mic to let them know there's more happening, one of the oddest things takes place, and this random woman comes into the house with an accent like she's rich, and everybody is confused. People who have played these games before know that this challenge is happening right in front of them. Another man steps in. He's apparently married to this woman. They're having an argument. Paul, who has been on Big Brother and is not an idiot, knows, oh, it's going down. Start paying attention. Now, am I messy a little bit, or possibly that individual that literally has the same fucking shirt that Plain Jane has on? I told you in my reaction on Patreon, because I almost went, I was like, wait. I said when I saw her in the... I hollered. It's one of my biggest fears when I was going to the clubs back in the day, is like having the same fucking shirt on as someone else, especially if they went to Zara. I'm like, God damn, we have the same taste. No, you wear that the next Saturday. I used to carry clothes in the back of my trunk. So when I saw Jane with this shirt, I hollered and I said, I'm going to wear this shirt for the review. And I kept my promise. So yes. Jane, I see the Fashion Nova fit. It is what it is. It's a Fashion Nova shirt. But I hollered. I got this trip last year for my trip to Puerto Vallarta. Hilarious. Anywho, this whole act happens in front of them. It's giving very, Dynasty, Dallas Tease, Villains of Our Days, soap opera moment, and all that kind of stuff. Days of Our Lives, all that. But there need to pay attention to what is going on. Certain things being said, actions taking place, because they're about to be quizzed on this, and that happens to be the hit list challenge of the week. I find it hilarious that Christine was like so into it, but it didn't even register it's a challenge, but more like, oh my God, this is so much fun to watch. Like, this is crazy. Jackie is the last one to figure out what's happening. That was so funny to me. Jackie, come on, clock it. Jackie kept on saying, what the hell? What's going on over here? Why are they talking to us like that? I don't appreciate this. Drita is way aware of it. It's so late in the game. And Drita's like, hey, I'm going to need you to start focusing, girl. Like, you need to start paying attention to what's happening. I'm sorry. When this baby came in, I just knew these people were a very random selection of folks that are in some sort of acting troupe together, and that was that. Like, I couldn't, I can't, and I won't. Anywho, come on. Joel McHale is the father of the baby, I guess, and scene. Now it's time for them to play the game, and whoever has the most points will be taken off the hit list. And the other two are going to have to start pleading their case to the house. Paul wins, but it was close. I got to get, like, no shade. This was fun because it was actually close. And Paul ends up getting the last question where all of them chose completely different answers. Jackie is feeling down now because it's sort of raining on her that, yeah, you're probably going to be going home because Christine's beautiful. She's young. All the men want to be around her, and she's Jackie Christie. And that's kind of the tea. And Kate's like, don't give up. You're going to need to start socializing, but also you need to realize that you talk too fucking much. You need to stop crying. You need to start actually getting good at these challenges because this is literally what they're requiring of you. Kate's done Traders, so she can have this conversation. She's done it twice, actually. But Christine is worried, and she wants to make sure that Tyson is really good with her and all that kind of good stuff. And while he knows, like, she's an idiot and she ain't going to be good at challenges, she's also going to be easy to manipulate. So please keep her around. New York tells Jackie that she's going to be okay. We know better. And New York feels for her sister, and she wants to keep her, so she's going to try to campaign the most that she can. Jane wants to keep Christine because she's just a hoot and an idiot, and she's pretty to look at, while Johnny doesn't want to vote Christine out. But this was kind of creepy and kind of gross a little bit, kind of, because I'm just going to tell you what I felt like this was. It gave Johnny letting her know, if you don't tell me that you like me back, and that you want to, like, flirt with me on a level of consistency to where we can even take it outside of the show or even just on the show, I may have to vote for you, or I feel like I don't trust you. Because Christine never gave, like, an actual answer here, because again, she knows she has a man, and she's, like, trying to be kind of vague with it, knowing what she can get away with someone like him who is that hard on her. Because this is, like, what, the third conversation they're having about this on camera. I said, so you're going to be here because they want to have sex with you. Bad. Do your thing, sister. Pop off. I don't like him. And it's going to get further along where I'm like, oh God, I really don't. It just felt like he picked all the people he found unattractive. And I was like, gag. Actually gag. I can't pick Drita because she cooks. Oh, okay, listen. I'm going to get to it. Because I already clocked him. I was like, yeah. You give me old boy from Top Model with the beard issue. Didn't want to roommate with somebody. But Drita cooking people good food. I know that food is good, sister. But Jackie out there trying to say, hey, vote for me. I mean, don't vote for me. Vote for Christine. I'm going to do this and the other. Not realizing that Johnny wants to be with this girl. And she's like, oh, you sweet on her? So why would you want to keep her? She could be using you, which is actual tea. But again, the puss is more powerful, right? Thank you again all for tuning in. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Become part of this Rant Pack family. I appreciate you so much for tuning in today. We are in the middle of episode 2, about to wrap it up to go into episode 3. As you know, I'm covering 3 episodes today, the best I can while staying on topic. But of course, me being me, I have actual diagnosed ADHD. Sometimes we get off topic here, so forgive me if that's the case. But if it's not your jam, that's all right too. But I appreciate you for tuning in. Leave your comments after the end of this video about all 3 episodes and what you hope happens this season. And if you want to drop a little love in my jar, please and thank you. You can do that by hitting the thumbs up button, or if you want to drop anything in my love jar, I guess I'll call it love jar. What? PayPal.me/Matty-Rants, Cash App $, Matt924, and Venmo and Shrink. Thanks for being here. Drita having to clean up after everybody because she's giving mama vibes. She wants Christine gone because she's always like doing her makeup on the bed. It's kind of nasty. Tom and Tyson, Tyson and Tom. Now, Jane, again, working the middle, wants to give Tyson the brief because Tyson likes Jane and also knows Jane can work with them and they can do this together. It's very much you keep tabs on that side. I let you know a little bit about what's going on over here. That's how we're going to operate. So it's where's the vote going? Who is doing what's happening, while Jane lets him in on who he knows is going to be the vote this week. Where Tom is like, I'm running this show because Tyson's running this show. This is amazing. Look at me. Drita having a moment with Johnny because she watched Love Island was really cute. But when the producers asked her if she would let her daughter date Johnny, she's like, fuck no. But she liked him on the show. New York is trying to coach Jackie on how to save herself. New York, you can barely put a sentence together. Love you down. But yeah, sometimes it's all over the place. But Jackie drops a little bit of a bomb here where she says that Tom promised a vote to her last night. That is not what happened. But Jackie is running that story around, baby. I'm going to be good. Christine's going to be out because Tom is going to vote for me because I shook his hand last night. We had a conversation about it. And she told people that, don't like Tom because Tom don't really care for them. And that's Paul. Y'all, I don't know if y'all clocked that, but there was immediate Paul and Tom don't like each other friction. Paul looks at Tom like he's an uppity person who looks down on people like him. And Tom does exactly that. You probably like, that's not, honey, the way he immediately gravitates towards Tyson. Paul is also up in the field too, this, that, and the other, but he even was like that on other shows. So I'm going to keep it cute there. And I'm going to keep walking, but I don't want to dive too deep in that. But I've clocked Thomas's energy, especially with putting Plain Jane up later. That was where I was like, ding, 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 ding. I see you. They're fun to look at, not to be around. I got it. Got you, Tom. I was like, okay. But here's the scoop, Jackson. They're going over the vote right now on what they're going to do with how, who, and where is the vote at. We're all going to send out Jackie. Is that the way? We're going to keep Christine. She's going to be easy to manipulate. Ashley's like, I vote with the boys. I'm going to go with the majority. It is what it is. Johnny wants to be his own alpha male in this situation here, especially because Tyson is the supervillain that's running the show, where Johnny now drops the bomb because he understands that Jackie said that Tom has, her back. And they shook on it, where Tom's like, what are you talking about? Oh, no. And now Tom goes into another full spiral. Holy shit, everyone's going to think I'm a fucking traitor and I'm a liar and I'm this weird guy because Jackie is telling people I said that. That's not how that was done. It really isn't, though. The thing is that Jackie said, I really hope you don't send me home. I know you like Christine. And if you feel like you want to vote for Christine, I'm not going to hold it against you. I want you to vote for me, but just know if you don't, it's cool. Is that cool? And then they shook. That's how that conversation went down. There was no, you're going to vote for me and I'm going to have your back later, right? Bet. That, nowhere near that. That's why it was very, I'm not going to hold it against you. I want you to, but if you want to vote for Christine, it's cool. Is that cool? That's cool. Don't even worry about it. I'm on Tom's side with this one. I'm like, I bet she took that. She misinterpreted the fuck out of that handshake. And now he looks crazy. But this works for Paul. Because Paul is in this alliance because he is roommates with everybody in the orange room via Ashley and Johnny, who is also in an alliance with Tom and Tyson. But Tom doesn't trust Paul because Paul dresses weird. And Paul doesn't trust Tom because he can see through Tom's bullshit. So Tom being I'm running the show because me and Tyson are besties and can see that that's probably how he's going to act the entire season, is not feeling that shit. So he's going to run that to the ground with Tom. Really? Oh, yeah, that's what they're saying? He's going to play Tom like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. But later on, I'm going to be using you and getting your ass sent out of here. It is time now for them to go up for the actual extermination, elimination, removal, banishment from the house. And Jackie Christie is dressed like Mary J. Blige. No, Jackie Christie is dressed as somebody who is dressed as Mary J. Blige going to a baddies audition for Zeus, who will more than likely get up there and just sing. Next! Tyson sits down. I don't care, but it's time for Jackie and Christine to give their speeches on why they should stay. Christine does not give a great speech at all. Doesn't want to go home. Don't send her home. It was stupid. Jackie actually gives a compelling speech if you believe that, but she also looks crazy in this fucking coat, a t-shirt, these very expensive boots. I know they're expensive, but they look awful on her with this fucking fan looking crazy, but also gives a compelling, I'll help you out. I'll be those people. I'm good to go. I'm not that person. All that shit, right? In a vote to 5-3, Jackie Christie is removed from the competition. And instead of the chairs flipping over like they did last time with it like flying back and all that shit, it's like a gaming chair or like a 4DX chair if you go to the movies. Pushes them forward, y'all, like, and then yanks them back. It is crazy work. I was like, please. I hope she didn't get whiplash. It was kind of funny. And I kind of like this a little bit better with the please stand by, but it was a little gaggy. So Jackie's the first one eliminated. Christine has 3 votes against her. It's now going to be this sort of, well, the 5 people who voted for you were supposed to be in this alliance, and they're sort of working her over in this sort of narrative of who voted for you, Christine, when in reality that 5 wants to know who in their group didn't go their way. Because that's how it couldn't have been those numbers. Couldn't have been. Had to be completely different. Nope. Well, I know New York liked Jackie, so it's definitely New York. Drita, I know she liked Jackie too, So who could it be? As they're getting dressed for the next challenge, and they're going over the numbers, and Christine's wondering, it was Paul. Oh, Christine thinks it's Kate. Other people think it's Kate, but Kate actually voted for Jackie to leave. Paul is the 3rd vote, bitch. I was like, what? And this is where he gets to pull Tom into the foolery, and as well as create chaos around Christine and this vote and the mistrust of it. He's playing a nasty game. And I was like, oh, I'm going to like Paul. I'm not going to like what he's going to do later, but like, I'm going to like him because I need this kind of foolery here. Because Tyson will not run this motherfucker. You're going to have to jump in, Paul. You cannot let these other people win like that. I need the goofies to win too. But they go to a tea party where Joel McHale is dressed as an astronaut. And then we're reintroduced to somebody who got on my last nerves last season, but also was very entertaining in the same breath. Victoria Larson, who is there to help them with this challenge. It's a reunion for New York because, of course, she's on the last season. But yeah, where do we start? Jane's wig. Wow. You be reading the girls for season 18, but sister, what? The Justin Bieber fuchsia bowl cut? The fuck? I can't. Their challenge is actually kind of entertaining and interesting, but also a little bit, how do you put this? If not everybody is working on the same page, this is going to go in one direction and it's going to go towards the alliance. It's called Toxic Tea Party. They're going to put their blindfolds on, and Victoria is going to get up and take a poison teacup and put it on someone's table. That person needs to then get up and then put that teacup on somebody else's table. And then they then must decide or figure out who was the person who then chose them. If they get it right, that person that put the tea down then is eliminated from the competition and must go to hell. And then that person gets to continue on. If they get it wrong, then that person then has to go, vice versa, et cetera, et cetera. The thing is that you want to be at the end of this, because if you are the last one standing, you get to be super villain of the week and then put the 3 people on the hit list. We got the rules, cool, bet, let's go. I'm going to run through this part because it was like, ow. And I've also been on 3 episodes and I'm also becoming like drained trying to go through this fast. As much as I want to go down the lines and have these little fun moments of talking here, I got a little PTSD from earlier today. So the other side of the house, which is mostly the ladies and plain Jane, but really the ladies, we're not playing this correctly. Whereas the Alliance already had an idea. Tyson doesn't want to be supervillain again. 1, 2, we need someone from the rooms to be it at the end. 3, we're going to just pick away at that side of the house, and the gamers are going to be at the end of this. And that's exactly how that went down. Get Drita out. She's really not privy to what's going on. So she's like, we can do that. That's easy. She's not going to take this personally. Go down the line between the individuals. Again, you had the people who were also on one side of the house also target each other. I was like, what the fuck is going on here today? Oh. At the end of the tea party, though, once the teas are done and we have some dramatic fallouts, New York was one of the best ones, but in reality, Plain Jane's exit was hilarious with the voice and the full gasp, doing this voice a little bit, taking the wig off and spinning around. Hilarious. The final 2, because Tom wanted it, but Tom didn't do good enough here, is Tyson and Johnny. Tyson doesn't want to be the supervillain again. A real gag is if they both didn't pick, then it would go to the last person who left out, which is Tom. And they would then be supervillains. So Johnny is like, I'm just going to take it. Okay, Johnny's a supervillain. The ego is boosted. Get ready, because here she comes. In the middle of the challenge, when New York was eliminated, Johnny said, go to hell, New York, which is something that Joel was saying, but it also was kind of like, okay, why are you doing all that? So I can see why New York reacted, but I also would have paid him dust, because it's like, okay, Miss Thing, what's happening here? Like, who are you? But there's still some animosity there. And so like Johnny then turns over to New York to smirk at her, because now he's the supervillain. And New York is like, so what the fuck is your issue? Like, what's the tea? Now I'm thinking New York, not the time to do all that with him, because he's in a power mode. And if you're not pretty enough to him, you're going to be down there. You already probably were going to be up just because you're not his type. But like, now really here we go. So now that they've had this whole tiff, he's smirking, sucking his teeth, you know, I'm about to like fuck her shit up, because that's what it is. He was so, I hated him this episode. The way he carries the smugness. Victoria triggering Tom was kind of funny. I'm such a fan of yours. The way they were so mean to you and how the ladies were treating you, like, I thought it was really messed up. The things that you did, oh my God. I was like, fuck. Victoria, shut up. But Plain is already feeling a little bit of the heat, because she knows that there's a little bit of and it almost feels like Jane, that we're not seeing stuff on camera, but it was the feeling of, the super hyper masculine folks are going to just take out the women and the queerdos and the weirdos. And Jane feels like they may be a target because of this. So they got to start talking and figuring out where they align with Johnny. Even though they were on a team together that won, I would think that would also be a part of the conversation and equation. Johnny wants to get rid of Tom. Johnny does not trust Tom. And Johnny brings up to Paul that Tom put his name out there as someone who voted for Christine to go home, when it was supposed to be the room as a majority plus another vote, voting her out. That does blow up Paul's game a bit, because technically Paul did do that, but Paul doesn't like Tom and Johnny doesn't trust Tom. So now Paul can move. This is, he said my name. You know who I think it is? I think it was Tom that did it. You know what? Let's start the distrust. Let's start the mistrust. Let's start to plant these seeds. Let's get people in action here. It's time to get out Tom, because he thinks he's running the show and I'm not liking that, and he got to go. They send Jackie's doll, because they always do this whenever someone is eliminated, out on a private jet, I guess. And Jane and Paul continue to bond. Johnny once again talks to Christine and tries to flirt a tad bit, but also this is another wild moment here. Tells Christine, because he's in power and because she hasn't been like forthright, or I guess hey, do you like me or not, that he may put her up for elimination or for the hit list because he can't flirt with her. I'm not bullshitting you. This is so weird. This is weird. Ew. Tiffany and Kate continue to bond. It's a cute moment, and they have their Lucy and Ethel moment. I thought this was so cute, because like they were not fooling each other in the first episode, but now it's like, oh, don't break them up. They're fun. Now, Paul talks a little game to Kate and tries to gauge where she's at with this, as well as planting seeds about Tom. But then Kate pulls up a little gag of her own about Johnny. And I was like, ooh, here we go. Hey, Gemini. Apparently, and this is how you know Johnny's insecure and why all that bit with New York and like what happens later with these nominations is what it is. Because you can look that way, but you know you want some shit when you get called on it and you react the way you do. Kate is having a conversation about JoJo Siwa being on some sort of army show that was on Fox. A show that I personally don't want to watch, that I laugh at, that I feel is geared towards a specific crowd of people. Reminder, it is on Fox. So Kate's talking about JoJo Siwa must be hard up for money to be doing stuff like that, which I'm going to be real with Kate. Yeah, that's actually a genuine like talking point because she was on a show that was a big hit. Mama was also coming out doing her own thing. She was everywhere at one point in time. And even on Dancing with the Stars, that would not be in my wheelhouse of JoJo Siwa like repertoire of things to go to. And I normally feel like folks that do go to shows like that are like really off the radar. We haven't seen it in a long time. So yes, I'm on Kate's side with this one. Johnny took that offensively, not defensively, offensively. And I'm going to tell you why. I could say defensively too, but I'm going to say offensively because of the way he came at Kate about it. Like talking about to her like she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about when she herself literally is a reality TV star who's done multiple shows as well, but also was not a child reality TV star like say someone like JoJo was, where there's been a lot more time and a lot more, if you will, being under the spotlight to where you would think things would be just a bit differently. You don't know what people's situations are and they're trying to get money in A, B, C, D, E, F, and G like that. And Kate's like, yeah, well, they get paid a certain amount. Like, they're talking about these dollars and then started to argue with her about what they were paid. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Johnny was mad and that's why he wanted to correct Kate so bad because technically, what do you do? A lot of people make reality television their career. And so they go on multiple shows or come back to those said shows in order to pay their bills. The Challenge is a prime example of that. Ashley is sitting right there. She's Ashley's not taking this offensively. Her whole fucking body of work is literally reality television. What are you talking about? Felt like that kind of hit you a little bit, Johnny. Did you want to get on a show and didn't get on a show and feel a certain way? You talk about, you making fun of people who's pay. That show probably paid real good. Not knocking that. It's just, why would she be on the show? Well, you don't know people's situation. Are you good? You good? You good? You good? That's just her opinion. It wasn't that deep. It has nothing to do with you. You needing to then correct her and tell her about that is wild. New York tries to apologize to Johnny, but New York, he doesn't see you. Plain offers Johnny a fucking vote in the finale. Do you understand me? Jane goes over there and tries to appease him as well as like give a relatable moment of feeling like, hey, I know I'm not the type of person who you would hang out with, this and the other, but like I actually am a competitor. I can work with you. I'm also offering you a final vote because like you definitely seem like someone who can make it to the finale, and say you're there and I'm eliminated later. I'm going to make sure you get your W. They shook on that, by the way. Jane, I don't know if this hurt you or not, but maybe he remembered he was a homophobe later when you walked in dressed as this and started to clean up and try to be silly and funny. But I know that look very well. I know it very well. I'm going to talk about this motherfucker when they leave, as well as talk about it with my buddies later when I get home. And we're going to have the actual conversation I want to have. So listen, Johnny takes Drita and Tom on this, I guess, reward where they get to go paint and they get to splatter, and it's basically being on a living color for their first promo. Second promo, you can do what you want to do in living color. I guess I would have had fun, but I actually would have rather roller skated like they did last time, or been at this house for this pizza. What? They get pizza? I want pizza right now. I am so hungry. I'm definitely gonna. I'm making Philly cheesesteaks after this. Never mind. I told myself I'm not leaving the house. Not today. We're not trying to burn more gas. But they get pizzas delivered by Joel because this was sort of like said the previous day by Joel. He's like, maybe I'll send you all some pizzas. But as they open the box, which I'm going to be real with you, y'all hoes were told to position those boxes in that direction because why would you open the box facing away from you? That makes not a lick of fucking sense. Like, be so for real, yo. I thought this was so funny. Like, yeah, you told them to open the box facing away so the camera can see there's a note. And we as an audience are aware of this, but also because if they opened it front ways and someone had peeked it a tad bit, it could have been immediately rip, boom, done. So this was a way of them doing that just to make sure this was sort of like, I guess, done correctly. But it's kind of like a king cake, if you will, where there's like a little baby in the middle, but this time it's a hand. But also, I just noticed there was ham and pineapple on that pizza, and I'm disgusted. I'm afraid I'm one of those folks. I'm so sorry. If I get a pizza, it's either going to be an extra cheese, and that's it, or we'll do chicken and spinach. We'll do beef and olive, ham and pineapple. I don't want too much going on with my pizza. I get really upset. Do not do mushrooms. Do not do onion. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin my pizza. But there is some sort of, I guess, advantage, if you will, in this, but also a little light disadvantage at the same time. So Tyson technically grabs the hand. That's the actual immunity of it all. But yeah, I can say immunity. No, advantage of it all. There we go. But technically, Paul opened the box. Christine also had her hand on it too, and she could have contested this, but there's power and there's also a little loss here. With this hand and this advantage, you get to also be with the supervillain as a henchman and decide on the list together. Oh, so Johnny doesn't get to do it by himself. You get to have some input too, even though Johnny gets to make the final decision, which I kind of realized. I was like, oh, okay. Christine doesn't want it because it's like, okay, that's going to do something against me. I don't want to look like this person. I want to be under the radar. Tyson doesn't want to have it because they literally were just a supervillain. And for Paul, he's not fully thinking right now and is living for this idea, but then realizes he loses a vote. So the plan again is to get Tom out. But if we lose his vote, which would have been the swing vote to guarantee Tom leaving, that would have blindsided Tyson, who does not know about this, and would have been Johnny Ashley in the room, orange room, knocking away at the red. So that way they can become the ones in power here. That's where Paul fucked up. Meanwhile, Johnny is telling... I'm wording that wrong. Johnny is telling Tom the same thing that Tyson told Paul, that you're going to be up as the pawn and we're going to just have two other people. And this is also a way to prove your loyalty because I currently just do not trust you. Tom goes back into spiral mode. Freaking out. This doesn't make any sense. Why would he put me up? We're like almost the same person, except we're almost the same person. There are other people in the house that are not like us. Like, what is he doing here? Like, I don't understand that. Paul, people like Plain Jane, weird, right? Girls, there are girls there. Girls. I kid you not. I kid you not. But then Ashley back at the house is talking to Paul, and that's when Ashley, because again, Ashley's not stupid and she's played this game before, and the social dynamics of it all. You lost your vote, Paul. How are we going to get them out? Shit. So now we need to figure out another plan to put somebody else up. Who is it going to be? We have to wait till Johnny gets back and we have to tell about what's going on. Shit. I know. I wanted the blind side for Tom too because it was going to be funny. So Paul lets... Oh, this is how you know Tom was losing it. It was so fucking bad because he was like, the person I hate the most just got power. Oh, I'm for sure going up. Like literally was coming back to the house so he could like tell Tyson that, Daddy, 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 please, 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 don't let Johnny hurt me. It was very much about to be, that's what was going to happen. But then instead, when he finds out that Paul has a little bit of that power, it is now, this is dumb. This is stupid. I can't believe they're doing that. There are other people that we could be targeting. Think of the girls. Think of like, who else do we know? Well, can't be Paul because Paul's not on the list. So like Jane. Jane's not even like a vote for us, which Jane actually was a vote. And Tyson was working with Jane, but you don't see Jane as a part of y'all's group because of your own issues with people who are not like you. So yeah. Tom is for sure the bottom. Verse bottom. Because some of those days he's like, Tyson, please let me have it. Like, you know what I mean? And then Tyson's like, okay. A little mud butt, but he's all right with it. So they sit there and they have a conversation where now Tom is going to have to tell him, like, you're going to need to put somebody else up because, like, Tyson's going to have my back. And it doesn't make any sense because, we're all cool like this and they're all supposed to be in this alliance. So that just, it's not fair. So who else are we going to put up there? And then Plain's name gets thrown out. Mind you, Johnny doesn't want to do that because they were literally just told the other day, oh, if I'm in the finale, you going to vote for me. Why would I put somebody who is literally pledging a final vote for me in the early game like this? That's crazy. Paul doesn't want to put up Plain Jane because that's their ally member and somebody who they can actually relate to in the house, not just talk gameplay with. Why am I going to send my like literally bestie home? That's stupid. But Tom is like, again, I'm having to talk to you and I don't want to talk to you, Paul. I'm really talking to Johnny. It's your decision. Send the weirdo home. Jane dressed like she's up for Puss Riot is hilarious, but they're back at the lair again, and your boy Johnny is really feeling his shit. He has his best date night attire on to show the ladies that he is worth it, and here we go, with Paul standing next to him. New York being on the hit list makes sense because, well, Johnny's not attracted to her, one. Two, she was vocal against him, even though he says women are smarter than ladies. Women are smarter than men. To Ashley, was totally trying to flirt with her that way, but I don't think he thinks that. But yeah, she yelled at him, and so she's got to be on the hit list. New York had a couple of cute little reads. Again, you may look like a family member of mine, but I don't see you. Then he put up Kate, and this was the funniest. I couldn't find the clip. I don't know why. I kept trying to find it when I was doing my screen grabs, but I have it here. So last night, because he was already thinking Kate, because he was just like, who is not on our side of the house? That is like easy. It's like Kate, right? But Kate went to take her mic out so she can go to bed. You got to do that so it can charge overnight while you're asleep. And then you're not supposed to be talking about anything really show related or anything else like that. Like literally on there, you're supposed to be quiet. Go to bed, wake up, get back on TV, do your thing, right? He sees her putting the mic up, but he doesn't think that she's doing that. He thinks that she came down there to spy and listen to them talk gameplay. And it's like, Kate sneaky, we got to get her out. So Kate's nominated because of a suspicion. Kate dragged that man in a very classy fashion. He didn't too much care for, he did not. I knew Kate got under that skin when he got up like this for Kate. He didn't even do that for New York. But Kate read him down, and it was so funny. Like, even fucking Paul had to laugh. I was like, oh my God, gather her. Oh, he was pressed. Press Panine. But Kate, you did that, sister. Thank you. We appreciate it over here in this household. He definitely needed to be dragged a tad bit. So Tom is like, oh my God, here it comes. Like, I'm freaking out. Hope they listen to me. Because again, Tom is running this game. And Johnny, after making some bullshit ass speech with Paul as his right hand, says plain Jane's name. And I mean, Jane, when you said budget Drake impersonator, 10 points for Gryffindor. Paul, honestly, Johnny deserved a little bit more than that. Had it been me, I wouldn't have been scared to run up on Johnny either. Like, you ran up on Paul. I wish you had ran up on Johnny, because Johnny deserved that smoke too. Like, on some real fuck ass shit. Like, bitch, you was a lying asshole. and you reel off that bullshit. But Paul would have got that work. Girl, you've been playing me on, bestie. I know you can't relate to these people, and all that kind of stuff. And like Paul's trying to explain himself, but in reality, it's also like, fuck all that. Like, what explanation do we need to go over? Bitch, you lied. Here I am. You were also in a position of power. What do you mean Johnny is talking over you for this, that, and the other? You could have put anybody else up there, and it's me. Walked up on this man. I said, no, that's right, Jane. I said, walked up on him. She can't hit him. She can't hit him, but she walked up, point, boom, all that. He's doing the double horns, all this kind of bullshit, and Jane just dragged them, man. Them people were shook. Even Johnny, yeah, that's right. You even had to laugh at the jokes too, because she was low-key cacking you. It's okay. Cacked both of you. Jane, I swear to God, if you get eliminated early, I'm gonna be pissed. You better win this challenge coming up. But Paul, that was some fuck-ass shit too. I understand that you're also working in an alliance, but you have Jane as like one of your primary numbers, and you low-key messed that up immediately, so quickly. Johnny, y'all could have played that differently. You also could have got Tom out very easily. They're acting like they didn't have the numbers for Tom when they actually did. They would just need to pull a blindside on Tom. Why are you afraid to do that? Why are y'all afraid to make those moves? Why is Jane up there? New York makes sense because, you know, Johnny has a little thing against them, and he's also paranoid against Kate. Those are two women he's not attracted to. So, like, gonna get them out. Mind you, Christine would have been up there if she said that she didn't want to be with him. Let's really evaluate these scores if you're talking about it. She doesn't want to sleep with me, so we got to put her up. There's still a little bit of a question in the air, so we're gonna keep her here. Like, this is wild. Wild. So I'm hoping Jane comes back from the hit list and it's Kate versus New York, even though I don't want Kate or New York to go. It would be interesting to see the Lucy Ethel dynamic with the vote go down. If New York is going to stay or if it's going to be Kate, because they're going to be like, New York's already been here. We're going to see that. The trailer that they had for the season gave more of, it felt like New York is staying. It felt like Jane is leaving. I didn't see a lot of Kate either, so I don't know if it's between Kate and Jane. We'll see. I don't know. I don't see New York or Kate caring enough to win the challenge. It just depends on what the challenge is, right? But I'm mad my sister got put up here. I was like, Jane, drag them. Fuck this. Terrible. But y'all, under 2 hours, and I know that still wasn't short enough for some people, but I tried my best to stay on topic with 3 episodes to cover here. But yeah, that is it for The Traitors Season 3, Episode 1 through 3 recap and review of Long-Winded Proportions. Appreciate you. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, become part of this Rant Pack family. Appreciate you for being here, and leave a comment about these 3 episodes, highs, your lows, your yeses and nos, and all that good stuff. And I appreciate everybody after that one little incident for being respectful in the chat. It was so fun seeing y'all's commentary and comments about said episodes coming up, and this, that, and the other. Yeah. Did I say The Traitors? Did I say season 3 of The Traitors? Did I say that? Did I say The Traitors? Did I say season 3 of The Traitors? Now on. See, that's what happens when I don't get to just be me and have fun, right? No, playing. Season 3 of House of Villains, episode 1 and 3 is what I just covered. Not season 3 of Traitors, episode 1 and 3. I did cover that on the channel. It is available for you, but this is a whole nother show. If you did want to watch House of Villains, it is on Peacock. The first 3 episodes are up now. I also did reactions of this on my Patreon for as low as $2 a month. You can catch so many videos. Have all 3 of these episodes up now. So if you wanted to clock in, do that, and all that good stuff. That's it for me today, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy your evenings, afternoons, mornings. If you're watching this in the playback, thank you so much for the tune in and all that good stuff. Tomorrow's a break for me, thank God. And a bill paying day for reals. A bill paying day for real, yo. Whoa, that was bad. I did not want to say that, but it just came out. Patooey. So I will see you on Patreon tomorrow for the Z-Way and Tiffany New York Pollard reaction. I promised I'd do that, and I definitely want to react to that one. And then I will see you again on Wednesday here for UK versus the World, but also Monday, Tuesday for the reactions for both UK versus the World and the Z-Way interview. So yes, leave a tippy poo in my jar if you feel like it with paypal.me/Matty-Rants, Cash App $99924, and Venmo Matty-Rants. I thank you so much. Have yourselves a wonderful day, a good evening, and all that good stuff, and all that good jazz. But yes, House of Villains is the key. Definitely tune in. We're going to talk about it each and every Friday. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the ADHD taking away everything from me. Okay. From now on, Queen, from now on, we're going to do our reviews for this on Friday. So today was Sunday for these 3 episodes. We'll be doing the next review on Friday, okay? All right, that's the last thing I wanted to say. All right, now I'm out of here. Goodbye. I was like, I knew something was on the tippy tip of my tongue. Take care, y'all. Have a good day.
Listen.